Hello everyone! Did you think I really forgot about that Jiggy in Freeze Easy Peak? Well, honestly I did, because this little bit of footage by here actually takes place after I go to my Monster Mansion, so oops. But yeah, returning to Freeze Easy Peak, I'm avoiding all the collectibles because obviously I already collected them. And we're going to be running up to Boggy now because we actually have hold of the super fast, mega sexy, speedy sneakers. So we're going to be basically utilizing these things in order to race Boggy. It's basically the exact same race as it was when we raced this guy as the Walrus. The only difference is now it's a lot faster, it's a lot more difficult, it's a lot more challenging, what can I say? You know people, it can be a bit of a tricksy one to go through. But the same basic tactics apply. Always jump up the hills, always try and cut him whenever you get a chance. And whenever you're ahead of him, do not fret. Never panic too much in this race, because if you panic, well, you're going to lose, folks. But one thing you need to be extra careful of, especially while playing as Luigi, is, well, going around the gates and falling inside the water. It's because of Kazooie's speed. Kazooie is a lot slipperier, shall we say, than a Walrus. She's a lot harder to control. So whenever you need to go and turn and stuff, just be a little bit careful. You need to try and stay as central to each of these the red flag he gets, and you'll be happy as Larry. What can I say? Right, Boggy, it's time for round 2. Remember, you're too slow. At least this train is. Uh-oh. Gotta speed up. Insert Sonic reference here. Remember, kids, if someone tries to touch you in a place that makes you feel bad, that's no good. First, you yell no. Then, you get out of there. And remember to tell someone you trust, like a teacher or a police officer. And if they're the one doing it to you, that's no good. I don't know what I'm... why. But anyway, this is a little bit more challenging, like I said, but just continue at it. Eventually, if you continue using the same tactics that I explained to you, you should be able to get through it with no problems whatsoever. Go! He lost again. I really want to try and imitate Dan Castellan's voice, the guy who voices Homer and Earthworm Jim, because it's such a good voice. If I could imitate that, I can imagine the YouTube videos I could make. Like with my eventual Earthworm Jim LP, which will probably happen in like 10 years, I'm gonna be, I would abuse the hell out of that voice, almost as much as I abuse the Luigi voice. But I digress. With that, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for that world. We are 100% done with Freeze Easy Peaks. Now we have access to Mad Monster Mansion. Now before we actually go into the mansion itself, which is, there it is, it's a sexy little building, isn't it? We need to move on to the left over here because there's a giant gate. Now, much like before when we had to get rid of the ice cube for Croc Banjo, we need to get rid of this gate for Banjo's transformation spell in this world, because otherwise Banjo can't get through the gate. And if you can't get through the gate, you can't complete the game. Well, you can probably complete the game. Actually, no, I think that gate's mandatory to go through, so I don't even know if you can beat the game without going through that gate. So just word of the wise, before you enter this world, break the gate down. It's all good, Anyway, to start things off, let's just break and enter, literally, inside this house. And this bloke by here is Nappa. And not the Vegeta kind. God damn it, Nappa! Vegeta. I am Nappa, and this is Vegeta. He was a prison. God damn it, Nappa! Bitch. If anyone's wondering what I'm referencing, Dragon Ball Abridged. Trust me, check it out. It's hilarious. But, yeah, Nappa, we can't actually do anything with him quite yet. We need to deal with him later down the line when we get a chance. So, he's there, you can check in if you want, but for to start things off with this world, you're going to really want to try and break into all the windows and whatnot in this building and try and gain access to all the rooms, because there's tons of little nooks and crannies in this world, and like I said in the previous part, this is probably the first world of the game you're really going to start having struggles with, you know. This is going to be the hardest world, well, one of the first hard worlds to find everything, because everything started being spread out, everything is hidden away, all neat and tidy like, you know, folks. Fortunately, I know where everything is, so this is going to go as smoothly as I can physically make it go. I'm no speedrunner, ladies and gentlemen, so even if I am, it looks like I'm playing through these stages really quick. Trust me, I'm not. I'm playing these at the speed I normally play them, and there's people out there that play these stages a hell of a lot quicker, you know, folks? But anyway, now we're in the wine cellar, so let's destroy all of the kegs, because inside the very last keg by here is the first of many jiggies, you know? Yeah, it's all being yeah. But, I digress. Also, be careful as well, because those couple of notes took me so damn long to find when I was playing this game the first time, because I looked everywhere. I looked everywhere for notes, and I did not realize there was actually a wine shelf behind me down here that I could enter, you know? Anyway, you might be wondering why I'm leaving this keg by here. Well, if you look inside, as you can probably guess, it's another one of those stop and swap secret super sexy areas that I'm not meant to actually have access to in this game, but I do have access to anyway because I'm a numpty. So, yeah, again, I'll show that off when I get to the Xbox 360 version, and in part 16, I believe that'll be. So, hope you guys look forward to that, and look forward to the high definition, because this game is not high def. The video might be high def, but the game itself, oh no, no. Trust me, the game's as un-high def as they come. Anyway, whenever you go inside each of these rooms, be careful of these pictures, because there's basically those snake things will pop out and they'll try and eat you. And on that wall there, you saw a picture of a pirate captain, right? Well, there's actually a big story involving that pirate captain, and he even comes in the second game, Banjo-Kazooie. And what's so big about him, then you might ask? Well, during development, this game was known as a game called Project Dream, right? And ignore the very triumphant music, it makes no sense why it's playing, because I already collected a certain collectible that music's meant to play. But this game during development is known as Project Dream, and it was originally going to be an RPG. Yeah, they went completely, they took a complete 180 when they decided to turn this into a platformer, didn't they? But I don't know too much information about Project Dream, other than the fact a lot of the music is still available. And it started development as a Super Nintendo title and got moved to the Nintendo Ultra 64, which, as you guys know, turned into the N64 that we know and love, so. And I think due to problems they had, and because there was another team in Rare working on Conker's 12 Tales, which is a game that never got released, which I'm kind of sad at. It looked pretty fun. They were impressed by that game, so they decided, you know what, we could do this too, and they did it better from what I could tell, because, dear God, this game's legendary. It's godlike. Anyway, that's a bit of an annoying little honeycomb piece. We can't quite get that yet. We need the power-up transformation thingy-what's-it in order to get inside there to grab that. So, don't fret. There's going to be a lot of stuff we can't do on, you know, as soon as we got in this world. We got a lot of sort of setting up until we can collect all the MacGuffins here, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So, just focus on this building for the meantime. Like, I usually like to go from area to area in this world and backtrack whenever I need to, because it seems to be the easiest way to sort of traverse everything, because this world, it's a bit more of a mazy level than you'd expect. And I'm not just saying that because there is an actual maze in this world, but, you know, it's something to take note of, you know. But, again, you do need to look inside all of these buildings. Not all of them have notes, and not all of them have really useful collectibles, but it is really wise to just look around and, you know, just try and pick them up, you know, ladies and gentlemen? Also, keep an eye out on the corners, because, as I said from the previous parts, the last world is where they're going to start hiding these notes and start making them very awkward to get hold of, you know? So, just pay attention. That's all I can really say. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Alright, what's inside window number 85? I kind of feel sorry for the owner of this mansion, because we're destroying all of their property, you know? I mean, they might have a thing about ghosts, but, you know, ghosts are people too. Dead people, but they are people too. Oh well. What I find surprising is you can actually kill ghosts, which makes no sense, because as Mario 64 taught us all, ghosts don't die. So, basically use the Wonder Wing and you can kill the ghosts, you know, that's all you really need to. And this is probably the only real instance you're going to see me use Wonder Wing quite a bit in this game, with the exception of maybe the final boss battle. Because the ghost enemies are more annoying than anything, because they ignore objects, they ignore physical objects. They can just simply fly straight in a straight line towards you, and due to the fact they actually fly, it's also very obnoxious to try and dodge them. So Wonder Wing gets rid of the ghost, no problem. It's very useful to do. I recommend it, you know, folks. As long as you don't waste more than like 3 gold feathers on a single ghost, because then that's a grave, not good thing to do. Not good thing to do. Anyway, by here, this is the room with Nappa in, if you remember correctly. And Nappa is a very light sleeper, so what we need to do is simply jump onto the table without jumping on the creaky floorboards. Otherwise he'll wake up and you will not be able to collect Gruntilda's Jiggy. One thing that really bugs me though, if you speed up the dialogue in this game, the dialogue will start to become really high-pitched. They solved this in Banjo-Kazooie, but it just sort of bugs me by here. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but just like with Clanker, Nappa's voice... I always picture Dragon Ball when I say that now. But Nappa's voice in this game is basically Banjo's voice slowed down, but not slowed down to the same level as Clanker. It's slowed down a slight bit, but not too much. So... Again, well, actually this one I found out because of the interview with Grant Kirkhope, but yeah, that's basically the thing. That's basically how they did it. They had space limitations on N64 days, you know, the cartridges weren't the biggest storage devices in the world, so they had to make do with what they had. I'm not complaining, they did some pretty damn clever stuff with it, you know, so... I mean, hell, this is like one of the only video game franchises I know of where people talk to you by burping and farting. It's just genius. Pure, unadulterated genius. Anyway, this bit here is the maze, and as you can guess from a hedge maze, it's very easy to get lost. He lied. It's actually quite easy to not get lost, but it's very easy to lose items in here, because during each of these nooks and crannies, there are items. Over here, there's a Jinjo. So it's very easy to go through this hedge maze and just not know, okay, I can't find the notes. Where are the notes? And that's because of the camera angle. It is purely because the camera angle can't be rotated. So just look through the maze as much as you can. You know, I've lost Jiggies. Not Jiggies. I am lost a Jiggy in here. I don't think you can lose Jiggies. But I've lost so many notes in here so many times just because I just missed them. I just happened to miss them. It's tedious, you know. It's really annoying when it happens. I think these are all of the notes, though. So, like I said, just pay attention to the corners, and you should be fine. Should. I'm not guaranteeing, because I'm not going to guarantee, because I don't know what you're like. I don't know your playing skills. Although you'll find there are a lot of golden feathers in this world in particular, so it's like the game really wants to encourage you to use Wonder Wing against the ghosts, so maybe it's not too bad an idea. Anyway, one thing I found really weird, we can't destroy this gate from this side. We need to go to the opposite side of the gate and destroy it that way, which I believe we're going to do pretty much right away, because... there's like I said, there's a lot. It's a very puzzly world, this one is, you know. You need to go to each of these sides of the world, and you need to really figure out how to open each area up. Of course, once you've opened up the entire world, it's very easy to figure out, okay, this thingy is in this area, I need to go here, and the world becomes easier, basically, the more you play around in it. So that's what I'm trying to get at, folks, you know. Easier to traverse and easier just to find things in general. Anyway, this Jinjo by here is a bit of an awkward one to get hold of because, I don't know, my depth perception always fails me. I managed to get it by here, no problem, but on most playthroughs, I usually completely either overshoot this platform or undershoot the platform. I have very bad depth perception by here, and I always struggle to get this one Jinjo. I think this is the first time I got I think this is the earliest time I got all 5 Jinjos in the entire run of a game. That's pretty insane. That's pretty damn insane, yo. But you'll know if you can't break open a gate because the lock will be on the opposite side of you. If the lock of the gate is on the same side as you, you can open it up. But let's ground pound the switch, shall we? Hope you guys like going to church because it's time for the holy hour. It's Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. We need to go for a Sunday sermon. Well, not exactly, but we do need to go into this church because there's platforming puzzles inside the church, you know, ladies and gentlemen. And that's basically, we just need to rush here before the time runs out. It's really easy to do, you know. It's a bit of a tight time limit, but anyone and their mother should be able to pull it off. Should be able to pull it off, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, do I? I don't know what you're like. But I digress. These are huge-ass ghosts. It's very fortunate they go down in one hit, but seriously, these things are massive. Actually, you'd think that ghosts of this size, you would think you'd get more health drops from these guys, wouldn't you? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I really would think you'd get more health drops from these goons. Maybe it's just my sort of general thoughts that bigger equals harder equals tougher equals more health, but I guess Rareware didn't go with that same idea. But let's face it, we're talking about a game studio that makes video game characters by putting googly eyes on stuff. Alright, we need a new character for the game. We can call him Pensy. It'll be a pencil with googly eyes. Genius! I swear to God, if there's a character in Ukulele or something called Pensy and it's a pencil with eyes, I'll slap them. Or I will praise them. I don't actually know which one or which. But anyway, now we're we're on top of a gigantic organ here. So this here is Moat Sand. Really, game? Moat Sand? Moat Sand? Wow, I thought I was bad with the puns. Moat Sand. Well, his name might not be music to my ears because obviously he's a pun on the word Mozart, the name Mozart, but basically all you need to do is wait for him to poke each of the keys on this gigantic organ and you repeat exactly what he does. And honestly, this is easy. This is so easy. It's not like Simon Says where you need to remember and then do what he says, because you can just easily, immediately after he touches the key, you can hit it yourself. So I don't know, I think this is probably the only thing in this game that could really be considered padding, you know, because it's not the most entertaining thing in the world, you know, you're just copying a giant ghostly hand. But of course, we all know that Moat Sand is the pinnacle of writing finesse. He is the ultimate backstory. Watch now, the writers actually did give him a tragic backstory, and now I'm gonna feel like a right dick for taking the piss out of him. Either way, just continue copying him. You should not fail this. If you fail this, something's wrong. I don't know what is wrong, but something must have gone wrong. You must have looked away for like half a year. That's surprisingly triumphant. Yeah, that's strange. But for defeating good old Moat Sand here, we have access to our next Jiggy. Obviously, we'd get to the next Jiggy because what would be the point of doing a Jiggy challenge without the Jiggy? So just climb up onto the very top of this organ and you pick up the new Jiggy, you know? It'll be all good. But honestly, from this point onwards, the Jiggies are going to start actually rolling in, ladies and gentlemen, because there's not too much longer left of this level, I don't think. It's like 15 minutes left? Yeah, something like that. So the Jiggies are going to start speeding up from this point, I assure you. Like, whenever you start opening the world up, like I said, it becomes easier and easier to get the Jiggies. Everything will just sort of domino down, and you'll be able to just progress further. My Lord, who art in heaven, thine give us more Jiggies, and thine will be happy. Amen. I'm not a religious type, so I actually have no idea if that's how our prayer actually goes properly, so don't sue me, please. But I digress. Anyway, pop all the way over here to hit the Gruntilda switch, which will open up a Jiggy inside Grunty's beautiful mug there. Oh my God, has she been cutting her hair or something? I'm digging the new look. But no, it'll be a Jiggy inside her eye, so an eye for an eye, I suppose. You can now head on and pick that up when you need to. Of course, you'll need to use the flight pad to get that, which is going to be very awkward because, as you saw earlier on when we tried to use the flight pad, we have a very strict time limit to get to it, so we do need to hopefully be good at running. Fortunately, I'm a Sonic fan, so naturally, I am very good at running in video games. I have to add the in video games very rapidly there because if you see me run in real life, I look like a spastic chicken trying to cross the road. You know, I'm useless at running. I run slow and I look like a numpty. You know, there's no two ways about it. Leave me alone. So these are new things that have been introduced as well. Honey hives, where they act like normal as well as you'd expect, but now those honey hives have bees around them. Now, if you break open the honey hives, obviously the bees will come around and they will try to sting you. If they successfully sting you, well, you're going to lose a point of health. Losing that is no good, so don't do that, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, see these pots with the googly eyes on them? Seriously, everything in this game is... There's a fucking gravestone with googly eyes. But basically you need to shit into these pots with your eggs. And you'll hear this dramatic voice pretty soon, which is actually Grant Kirkhope's voice again. And this is something you're going to need to do, but... I believe we're going into... Yeah, we're going into the Banjo stained glass window first. This is like a hidden area where we can get tons of goodies. You don't actually need to come in here. But it's a nice refill room, you know? But yeah, we're going to need to shit into all those plant pots in order to make plants grow. And you're going to hear this really loud, thank you. Apparently, Nintendo made Grant Kirkhope record that line like 5 to 6 times because he kept saying, well, he kept saying thank you. But Nintendo keeps thinking he was saying, fuck you. If I can hit, there we go. See? Nintendo kept thinking they said fuck you, so Nintendo made him re-record the lines all the times. And I know Nintendo aren't the only ones that thought that. I know loads of people who thought that he was saying fuck you when he did that. I mean, listen. Thank you. Although it does sound like thank you to me, but well, I digress. But he was going on about it and he kept saying that, like in the video I saw of Grant Kirkhope, he basically kept saying how he had to emphasize the TH, so he was like, thank you, you know? But after you collect all the plant pots with your eggs, and don't recollect, no, move me, go on, come on, you can do this better. Oh my god. Come on, there we go. Once you get all the plant pots done, you will obviously get a hold of a Jiggy. Problem is, I'm missing a plant pot. And where is this plant pot I'm missing? It's somewhere. Draw distance issues. I am blaming the draw distance in this one. Because the plant pots don't really spawn in until you're right next to it. I mean, turn around. Oh, there it is. There it is. I didn't see you. I still can't believe they put googly eyes on gravestones. That's just... godlike, that's amazing. But there we go, there's the next Jiggy of the game. Oh my, that is fucking fantastic. If you excuse the French. And dear god, we got 30 Mumbo tokens. Wow. I don't think there's any transformations that really use that many tokens. Like I think the most tokens you need for a transformation is like 25. So, goddamn. Although we do still need to keep on collecting these tokens up until we have 25 in the last world, you know, folks, at least. I think that's 25. So, yeah, just continue collecting as many tokens when you see them. Even if it seems like you got more than enough, if you see one, go out of your way to pick it up. It might be helpful. Although, I say that with the exception of 2 specific tokens. There's 2 tokens in this game you can get in the next world, which is Rusty Bucket Bay. I shudder to think about that. Well, those tokens, don't get. I'll point them out when we get to the video because, dear god, I died so many times in this playthrough trying to get those damn tokens. And in the end, I eventually just said screw it, so, yeah. with that, on top of this antenna is the 6th Jiggy of the adventure, well, of this world, so. I have to say, I do like this world. I used to not be too fond of the music, originally. But over the years, I like when I was a kid, but I think it's because the horror theme never did it. I never liked horror theme sort of stuff when I was younger. But nowadays, it's so damn catchy. I love it. I just love the way this sounds, so. Child me has poor taste in music, I suppose, because adult me loves this stuff. Yes. Anyway, this here is a bit of a puzzle. You can't see it, but I'm actually doing that little finger wavy thing, you know, to say I'm doing sarcasm. Because all you need to do is ride this icicle thingy what's it and dodge a ghost. And spell out the words Banjo-Kazooie. So it's basically the exact same puzzle we've been having throughout the entire game. Difference is now we're sliding to say Banjo-Kazooie instead of shooting or ground pounding or... Actually, I don't think we shot anything or say it yet. I don't think we actually shoot anything or say Banjo-Kazooie until the second game. That's because the second game has the ability to aim while you're shooting. Which would have been very useful in this game, I will be perfectly honest. But, I digress. I honestly digress. Just spell out Kazooie. And what I sort of recommend is to sort of go around here in like a... Not so much a clockwise formation, but... Just memorize where all the things are on the floor and just pay attention to where the ghost is in correlation to where you are. Because otherwise the ghost may clip you and it will hurt and shave a bit of time off, you know. I did this quite easily by here, but back in the day I used to have so much issues trying to go through this little puzzle when I was a kid, you know. I had a gloomy time, if you will. Get it? Because it's a gloomy shed. Let's go, please, before I start shedding the viewers' tears. Before the viewers start shedding tears, I should say. So I said that backwards anyway. Blah! Pun ruined! No! Ruined forever! But I digress. Anyway, collect all these notes on top of the shed. These are very easy notes to note. You know, to miss, so just pay attention, you know? Just pay attention what you're doing. And the moment you go on that shed, because it has like a slippy, slopey, wally thingy, you will slide off the top of the shed when you land on it. So, as soon as you land, hold down the Z button, push C-band to the left, and you'll be fine. But you do need to do that, because otherwise you're going to have issues, because obviously you'll slide off the wall. If you slide off the wall, that's no good, because you won't be able to collect the thingy what's it. But I digress. Anyway, this is an area we can go into now. I do recommend going in this area later down the line as opposed to now, because it's a little bit easier to traverse this when you're out of the transformation, because you don't actually swim when you're in the transformation down here. So it's a bit easier to collect all these jiggies, but if you're good enough for swimming, feel free to pop down here right now like I'm doing, you know. Collect all these notes, collect all the jiggy, well, collect all the jiggies. There's one jiggy in this room. And that one mumbo token, which is very annoyingly placed. It's right next to the tentacle vine thingy. What are these things meant to be anyway? I want everyone but the fanfic writers to tell me what these things are, because I don't want to know what the fanfic writers are thinking. At least the perverted ones, you know, ladies and gentlemen. That's not something I want in my kid-friendly commentary with swearing. Because I swore a couple of times in the playthrough. Not proud of it, but them's the breaks, I've done it. But I do advise going around this area really slowly, you know, folks, because otherwise you may just get clipped by one of these mooks, and it may, well, they're not really mooks, by one of these tentacles, and it will hurt you, you know. So, and when you get hit underwater, it does throw off your sense of direction very much, so can be more of a nuisance than anything else. But there we go. Let's get Jiggy. Let's get on out of here. Climb outside of the well, because our name isn't Timmy. And we didn't fall down here. We jumped down here, you know, ladies and gentlemen. If you jump down a well deliberately and you can't get out, it's your own bloody fault. I don't even know what I'm saying now. I really don't know what I'm saying. Now, these Wellington boots by here, I don't understand the point of them. Because all of the collectibles in this area, with the exception of like the Wonder Wing golden feathers you can pick up on the floor, they're all done by jumping across here, doing simplistic platforming. So I really don't understand the point of why they chucked Wellington boots on the side of the wall, you know, on the side of that. It's strange. I guess it's to satisfy the urge that some people would have in terms of... You know, actually, I have no idea. I have no idea why those Wellington boots are there. They're pointless. Especially considering you can actually go inside this marshy water when you're in the transformed state, which I believe we're going to right now, actually, because I think we've gotten all of the Banjo-specific jiggies we can get. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain we've gotten all of the Banjo jiggies in the stage, so, yeah, I think we're going to go off to Mumbo's hut now, which is over yonder. Yep, left, there we go, right, now right. And you'll know Mumbo's hut is by here because there's actually a little crevice on the floor. And it took me so long to find out the actual entrance in here because on the top of the walls by here, these are actually covered in vines that will hurt you if you land on them. So it took me ages to realize that you could actually jump over that tiny little thing just to get in here. So back in the day, I had so little fun trying to find the entranceway to this hut. It annoyed me. It's not like the power-up you got for it was anything special, because you can't attack when you're in this form that I'm about to get here. You cannot attack, you can't do anything other than just bounce around and look all cute. Well, you can go through hidden tiny little crevices and what have you as well, and inside that one toilet that we went to earlier on. That's right, folks, you heard me right, we're going inside the toilet. I heard of someone's life going down the shitter, but I think that's taking things a little bit too literal, you know? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're a pumpkin. And let's get out of here before Mumbo decides to eat us. It looks so cute. Look at it, it's so amazing. Oh my god, I want one. I want a pumpkin banjo plushie. Actually, why aren't Microsoft capitalized on plushies? Make Banjo-Kazooie plushies. People would buy them. I mean, who doesn't want a Mr. Patch plushie from Banjo-Tooie? Actually, no, that one would be terrifying. Okay, who doesn't want a Gruntilda plushie? I mean, come on. She rhymes. You could make her have a like, little rhyme voice box. It'll be popular with the kids, yo. I am certain of it. Anyway, you might be wondering what the hell am I doing right now that I'm in good old pumpkin form. Well, as a pumpkin, we have access to go underneath these little crevices, and we can actually go onto this giant hedge made by us, which will lead us onto the second floor of the house that we were at the start. And normally we can't gain access to that house as a pumpkin, you know, on the second floor, because obviously he can't climb. This is the only way the pumpkin can get up here, so you do need to do this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, first things first, let's go and get ourselves... Oh, thank God for that. That would really bug me if I forgot that one honeycomb piece in this playthrough, you know? There's nothing worse than forgetting forgetting a collectible in a Banjo game, because then your brain will go into overdrive trying to figure out, oh, where do I go next? Where do I go next? I don't know! Anyway, down the shitter we go. This is the only game I know of where we literally flush ourselves to gain a collectible we need. We flush ourselves down the toilet. My god. But anyway, that is the 9th Jiggy of all, and the last Jiggy is actually a very easy one to find. In fact, it's the easiest one to get for the pumpkin. It basically leads us directly to the exit, you know? Now wash your hands, you filthy bear! No. No. Don't need to. I'm a bear. Just because you can't bear dirty germs doesn't mean I can... Sorry. Anyway, just pop down here and there we go. There's the last Jiggy of the level. We basically need to go through the gutter, you know. We need to go through that. So yeah, we're done with Mad Monster Mansion. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this part. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoy. Don't be sheepish, people. When we return next time, we'll take on hardest level in the entire game. Unless I'm remembering wrongly, but I think it's the hardest level in the entire game. So thanks for watching. Don't be sheepish, people. I'll catch you all next time. Bye.